Hello, my name is Shirlene, and I'm going to teach you today how to create Canva YouTubes that will not only attract attention, but it will optimize your YouTube channel. Actually, I didn't know this until a few months ago, and I hadn't been doing the thumbnails because I didn't really know how. But they're really easy to do, and I'm going to teach you how to do them free on Canva. I know you can do them in PicMonkey, you can do them many other ways, but Canva is something that I'm more familiar with, and so I make mine. They have a free version, which is what I use. They have a pro version. I think it's $12 a month. It does have some extra features, but we'll talk about that. But you can do these on the free version, and I would get really comfortable with the free version. And then if you want to upgrade for the $12 a month, you could. I'm not affiliated with Canva at all. This is just me teaching you, trying to be of service here. So here's some designs that I have created. Some better than others. These are not all YouTube. To make YouTube thumbnails, you want to go to the templates and you will type in YouTube thumbnails, because that's what you can type in: Facebook posts, Instagram stories, Facebook covers, flyers, but we want YouTube thumbnails. So we'll type that in because you want the right template. Otherwise it won't fit on your thumbnail. YouTube thumbnails, right here it is. We'll call that up. And then you can get a blank. You can also pick any of these as long as they say free. See, that says free, but some of them will say pro. If they say pro, that means you would have to upgrade the $12 a month, I think. But most of these look like they're free. There's lots and lots of free stuff. You can use any of these pictures. Let me just show you a couple of things, and then I'll go through one of mine. Now, I'll just pick something here. Let's say I wanted to use this one. Okay, it says use this template. We're hoping it's the free one. It said it was, I believe. And you could take that template and you can change it. If you're doing something on cookies, this is a Canva one. That's a pro. We don't want that one. Let's do a free one. This one's free, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't say Canva. If it says Canva across the screen there, then it's a pro. You just have to pay for that. It's not much. Might just, you'd have to upgrade to pro, like I said. But let's say this one. You can change these things. You can take that off. You can delete it. You can change your writing. You can change your background. Let's just go change the background. Let's say we want, I like the white background. And we'll hang on to that a minute. And then I'm going to move this down. I'll go up here to transparency, and I'll make my background a lot lighter because I don't want it quite that dark. That didn't lighten it much. We need to do that again. Transparency. There it, see how it's fading out. I'd probably take it back to about right there. Then if I wanted a picture, there's all kinds of things on the left. There's templates. I'm just going to show you a few things. There's uploads. These are my things I've uploaded from my Facebook. You would just upload media and upload them from wherever you have your stuff. You can continually upload things. I have a lot of things uploaded. And then I'll pick a picture that I want to use, and I'll put that maybe on here. The pictures I always put on the left, because the left side mainly, well, YouTube has writing sometimes across this bottom and sort of up here. I had this one time. Let's see, it wasn't that one. It was this one. I had this as a thumbnail, this thing right here. And the writing on YouTube covered up Sean's face. So I went back and just put mine and Gail's and put some writing about the rest of it. But you want to keep your pictures over here. You don't want YouTube covering up your writing. They'll have things like how long the video is and maybe a little camera and different things. You just have to check it. And if it's covering up something you don't want it to cover up, you know, you can always change that out. Now let me show you a couple of things. There's uploads, which is pictures. Canva has a lot of free photographs. Let's say I wanted to use one of these. I could just insert that in there. I can manipulate it. I can make it smaller, bigger, move it wherever I want to move it to, whatever you want to do. You can also do things, the next one, and you can pick any of these that are free. You can do things like shapes. Let's say I want a round shape, or this is frames. I want a round, I'll drag it over here with this picture. And then I'm going to, let me put it there. I'll put the picture in front of it. Now my picture's in a round thing. You can do that. There's other shapes. Let's say you wanted to do this shape. You can put that and put the picture in front of it. Well, all right, let's bring it to the front. Send it back. Probably have to take the other shape off and do it again. But anyway, you can change the shapes. That one's not fitting well. I probably wouldn't use it. The round one is mainly the one I actually would use if I use one. Let's say we want to take this off. And let's say we want to add some boxes. So let's say I want to add a couple of boxes. I'm going to shrink it down. These are things I would start writing text on. You want your text to reflect what your video is about. And the main part of the video would be the largest part of the text. Now let's just, so I'm going to make I like 2 or 3 boxes. So we're going to copy, paste again. So I've got 3 boxes here I can use. 3 is probably enough. You could do 4. Now, let's say I don't like this color, so I'm going to go up here to color. It's that little button up there. And I like the blue. That's what I tend to use. And sometimes I'll do blue. And then I might do a white one in between. So I might do a blue down here and a white one up here, or I might do all blue. Now, I also, something else I like to do is put a box across the bottom. Let's say this is going to be red. Because we're going to do YouTube, the little YouTube button is red. And so I'm going to stick with red on it. I like my colors, my branding colors to be pretty much the same, but they're not always going to be 100%. But I'm going to stick with the white and the blue because that brands you. People see that very quickly and they, oh, that's a Shirlene video. By the way, I'm Shirlene. I don't think I introduced myself. Shirlene, and I am also known as the Southern Gal and the Southern Gals to Success. I teach marketing strategies, and I will be doing lots more videos. Now that was white on a white background, so obviously it isn't going to show up much. Let's move on here. Hang on just a moment. I want to make sure I am recording. I think I am. Okay. I'm not recording. It wouldn't help much. Okay, let's say I want lettering. Now let's go over here to text. I like this sometimes, this White Christmas when it's free. You just click on it and then you'll change what you want. I might say my best tips. Then obviously it's way too big. We're going to shrink it down. We're going to move it. We're going to make it wider. You see this top writing up here? We want to get rid of that. We just click on it and then delete it. Don't delete the whole thing, but just that part. We want this to be white, so we go up to, these are font colors. You see the A up there, that's for your font text colors. And I want that to be white, and then it's over here, its size is smaller and bigger. We want to make it smaller because it's too big. Now, that's kind of what I want. Whoops, 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 whoops. Let's go back. Now we got to make it smaller again. Well, I don't know what happened there. Well, okay, it's white on white. I know what's going on. We can't see it because it's white on white. Let's move it up. Now, what we want to do here, you can see that my box is not big enough. So I'm going to make my box bigger. Then I'll move my text up in there and see how it fits. You have to play around with it, get it the way you want it. I'm going to click right there in text and I'm going to shrink it some more because I want it all on one line. There it's on one line. You can see that. Moving it. You see that little cross 4 arrows? That's what you'd use to move it. So you can move it around. My best tips. Still needs to be moved up a little bit more. Let me see here. If I can get the, move it. There we go. My best tips. Now, you say, well, best tips for what? Okay, we're going to go down here. Now, this is a white box. So I'm going to use, I like add a header or a subheader. I'm going to use header because it's bigger. And I want this to be bigger. And I want this, it's in black, but I want to change this text color to this blue. That's one I like to use. And I'm going to put my best tips for, I'm going to use the small, and then creating free. And that's all I'm going to put on this box. You kind of spread your wording out. Now let's move this box up. Let's move it out first. Make it kind of, And then it's on a white box. So a white background, really, you only need a white box there because really your background is white. Okay, for creating, and then down here, I'm going to add a header. And we can change some of these in a minute as far as I'll show you some fonts, but let's bring this down. So it's for creating free YouTube thumbnails. Now we've got everything we want on there. We're going to change shapes and size. Again, go up here to text color. You see that A, text color, and I want to make that white. Now, this is not, I mean, you got to play around with this. You got to get it the way you want it. You can move things around, but keep your photographs on the right. And I'll tell you why. Because YouTube has writing, and sometimes they'll cover things up. You can make a thumbnail, and honestly, you may have to go back and adjust it. Once you upload it, you can, you save it and go back to your template. Because YouTube has like how long the video is. They have little things that they put on here. Sometimes they'll cover up the picture. And so I like to keep this area a little bit clean. Now I want this to be really noticeable. When somebody's scrolling, I want them to see the for creating YouTube thumbnails. That's the part I want to catch their attention with. So I'm going to make that larger. As large as I can without going over in this area too much and not getting off. Now you can make the background bigger. It looks like it needs to be just a tiny bit. Then I can move this up just a little bit, kind of center it. Okay, so we've kind of got that. Now, this part here, I'd want bigger. Now, you can have a capital S there. That was just a choice that I kind of like. I want to make this really big, though. For creating, whoops, maybe not that big. Let's move this all up. And we'll move this up and we'll see how it looks. Okay, I don't like that, so I'm going to put this with the capital. For creating free YouTube thumbnails. Now, on the white background, I don't think this shows up as well as I like. So I'm going to change this text to white. Here's the A for text color. And I'm going to make this background, whoops, it didn't change. White people. I think it saved half of it. Now you're not going to see it because it's on white, but I'll show you here. Now the background then, this one here, I'm going to click in it and I'm going to make it blue. No, that's text. I don't want the text blue. Let's move the text out of the way. Hang on just a minute. This is a text box. That's right. We didn't have a box here. There's our box that we created a while ago. We're going to make it blue so it'll really show up. Up here, colors. That's the color. And I like to use the same colors. Most of my videos, you'll see the blues or hot pink. I'm using the red with the YouTube because the little symbol I'm going to add here in a little bit is red. And I want that to sort of match. Now, this text is going to have to be white or it's not going to show up. So let's go up here to text color, white. Now, when we move this box over, let's make this bigger in the background. It's not big enough yet. And I want it to really, really show up for that part. This is what I want people to read. Let's make it even bigger. It's not going to fit yet. Now, you play around with it. And you just keep playing around with it. What you need to do with Canva, and that's what I did, get the free version. And I'm not affiliated with Canva. People do these on PicMonkey and on all kinds of programs. But Canva is something I use, and I'm familiar with it. It's easy. You can get the free version and use it for years. And you don't have to ever upgrade if you don't want to. But if you want to upgrade later, that's your choice. That's certainly not, I'm not saying you can or no, that's up to you. Totally. You can do a few more things, but I've never upgraded yet. I may someday, but may not. I don't know. Depends on how much you're going to use it, really. If you do these, you can actually get good at creating thumbnails and put it up on Fiverr. You can actually do them for people. You can charge for it. So they're pretty easy. You can whip them out pretty quickly. Now this, I don't like the for creating free there. I don't like it all together. I'm going to put it on a different line and move this up. And I'm going to see how my cursor's right there. I'm going to shrink that down just a little bit to make it fit in there better. I don't want the box any bigger. It's big enough. Now we can also do this. See, I highlight it and up here I can change the text. So let's say I want to use horizon. That's not working at all. How about open bold? Let's look at that. When you want a text that's very readable, again, look at other people's thumbnails. Look at their YouTube channel thumbnails. Some people use really vivid colors. That's fine. You can do that. They say make them bright sometimes. A lot of us, and I know other seven-figure earners, we like white backgrounds mainly. Again, that's your choice. So mine will all be kind of the same, but that doesn't mean I couldn't create one different if I wanted to. You can do what you want. It's just your purpose sometimes and what you're doing. But kind of, I like to brand myself a certain way, and a lot of people do. But you just play around with these and pick out what colors you like. And I would pick out 2 or 3 colors that you generally use. Decide whether you like really bold backgrounds or more white. Now, don't make them too busy and then put writing on them. Just really look at it. They get too busy and they're hard to read. Your goal is to make them really easy for your audience, people scrolling, to find what your video is about, your training video. Now, there's other things you can add a video in here. You can change, like I said, the background a million ways. Let's say I wanted to do, let's just say I want to do that background. See, that's really bold and colorful. It's more than I'd want. You can do that one. As long as they're free, you can pop them in there. You can do that one. But I just tend to like the plainer ones. You can do this one. And you can fade them. That was a little dark. Let's say we'll fade it down and make it really light. I could probably get by with that with it light. There's a little bit of color in there without too much. I could take it all the way down too, and where it wouldn't have any. I'll say any. It's got very little now. But you can just change them. Let's say you want this one, and you wanted to fade it down with your transparency. Fade it way back. Make it how you want it. Let's go to, oh, I don't know. There's just thousands, say thousands. I don't know how many are here. There's a lot. You can make them as big and bold and however you want to do them. There's one with fruit on it. If you had something with fruit, you can do just a solid red if you wanted to. That doesn't show up well. I can go back to my white. Now, I had white with a little design that I faded out, but I'd have to find it again. And I don't see it right now. These should be ones I've used up here. There it is. I'm going to go back to that one, and then I'm going to fade it back with transparency. Just don't want it quite that dark. Now, you can also add things. We go to elements, and up here in the box, I'm going to type in YouTube symbols. And I'm going to, and that's why I made this banner red, because the free ones over here are red or blue, and the blue didn't match my blue. So I just go with the free one. And I'm going to make it smaller because it's way too big for me. I'm going to put it somewhere in here. Decide if I want to turn it a little bit. Might even pull it down here. Don't know. You have to see what you like. If you want it up here in the corner, you can put it up here in the corner. You want to balance things. I think that's a little more balanced. And you can just do all kinds of things. You can make these boxes with a border around them. You can just do so much. You can get your text. Let's say you wanted this text to be, I'm just going to play around with this. Let's say you wanted this sort of sweet text. Then I could type I can tell you this won't work as well, but I'm just going to show you how you can do it. Okay, we want to shrink this way down. Obviously, it's way too big. Shrink, shrink, shrink. Okay, it's got to shrink down here. Need to shrink it from the top, and it's can't find my cursor to shrink it right now. But if we can't shrink it, we'll take it off. Let's just do it this way and see. No, it's not wanting to shrink. Yes, it is. There it goes. So I'm going to shrink it way back just to show you what it looks like. Now I've got my box here where I can see my little arrow. I can shrink it down really quickly. Let's say that I wanted to put that somewhere. I'll shrink it down some more. Get it the way we want it. You play around with these. I'm telling you, just play around with them. That's how you learn to do it. Now, I'm going to bring this down some more. I want that box where I can pull it down. You have to get to that little arrow to pull it down. And because it's so high up, it's not letting me do that. What if we could do that? There we go. There's my little arrow. Now I can turn it back around. Got to find that little, you know, those little cross arrows. Let's say I wanted to do something like that in the middle, and then I wanted to make it probably a little bigger. And now I could do that, and I'd probably, I don't know, some of these fonts you can't change the colors on, these pre-made ones, I might be able to change it, and there it did. So I could put this ForCreatin, let's say I didn't want this. I'm going to move this over just a minute. And I wanted something like this in there. If I like that, I don't like it better, but I'm just saying, showing you what you can do. Not really creating this exactly the way we want it yet. I would play around with it and get it the way I wanted it. You could do that. I don't like it as well. If you wanted it white text, you could do that. Make it show up better. ForCreatin YouTube channels. Now this one's still here. We don't want to, I don't want to lose it because I'm probably, but you know, you could do that. I don't like the writing up here and the writing here. I think it's too busy because I like mine a little plainer. So I'd go with the box look. But you know, you decide what you like. But I would advise you to look at a lot of people's YouTube channel buttons, get some ideas of what they're doing, and just really pay attention to where they're putting lettering, how big it is, how much color, contrast with backgrounds. I see some people put their lettering really, really, really big because they really want to get attention, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's say I want this bigger. I could do that. I could move it down, make this background as big as I want, and if I did that, I would move this one up, this background up, maybe up to the top. And then I would put that right in there, and then I'd move this over here, or maybe put it there. And then I could still make this bigger if I wanted to. If I wanted to really stand out, you know, you want to, and you do want it to stand out. That's not bad. That way, when somebody sees that thumbnail, it's going to really stand out. And so, again, play around with all these things over here. Keep your writing off of this side because YouTube's going to be putting things there. You can make this picture as big or small as you want. YouTube has a way you can take the photograph. You just hit a button and it'll take the background out. And that's really handy. I don't have the Pro, and so I can't do that. But that's one advantage I do like on the Pro. It might be worth it to you to do that. So you can take your pictures and you can cut the backgrounds out and make it really simple. So get in there and try to make some YouTube thumbnails and see how it works for you. And leave a comment, like, and share. And we will get back with you if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.